Bismillah walhamdulillah wa sallallahu wa sallam ala rasulillah wa alihi wa sahbihi wa man ittaqa. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
We're here today with everything Usool al Fiqh. We're in a 3,000 line poem. Today we're on line 35. We have a short lesson today because of the two individuals we're going to name, and the next one we're going to name after that. They have a little bit of story. We don't want to prolong it for you. So it says, Bismillah. فَمِنْهُمُ مَنْ تَابَ مُعْلِنًا وَذَمْ عِلْمَ الْكَلَامِ يَا لَهُ خَيْرَ النَّدَمِ. فَمِنْهُم, so then from amongst the people who, just going back to the previous lesson, that the shaykh said he's going to name some of the people who used to be involved in ilm al-kalam, in rhetoric. And then as these are different shuyukh of the past, rahimahumullah, and as they went through their lessons, they determined, you know what, this is not the right thing, and they left it off. And this is not something strange. It shouldn't be strange to anyone. A person doesn't start off being knowledgeable, okay? They start off as a student with the earnest zeal to learn everything they think they need to know in order to get to their objective. The objective is knowledge, to know that which would enter them into the Jannah and keep them away from the Jahannam, okay, the fire. So these people, they studied ilm al-kalam, promoted it, and then said, you know what, it's not right. So he starts to name a couple of people, so you won't just think he's saying it out of the side of his neck. He says, فَمِنْهُمُ, so then from amongst those people, مَنْ تَابَ, are those who made tawbah, مُعْلِنًا, outwardly. They promoted, they advertised their tawbah. Why? Because tawbah is a personal thing, right? It's between you and your Lord. Why did they do it mu'linan, meaning outwardly, so everyone could see it? Because they were public figures. And when people who are public figures do certain things that the public follow them in, and they know that they're promoting this, then if they change their opinion, their decision, then they should let the people know, hey, I'm not promoting that anymore. Does that make sense? Okay. So they made tawbah mu'linan wa them. Well, them here is, they didn't like what they did, okay? They said that thing is wrong, okay? Ilm al-kalam, meaning they talked about ilm al-kalam in a derogatory fashion. Ilm al-kalam is rhetoric or crusader logic, as I define it. Ya lahu khayr al-nadam. Oh, they had, this is ya in Arabic is a very expansive word, you know, to show ta'ajjub, he's being amazed by it, and he's showing how much he is balagha. Oh, how great was their nadam. Nadam was their sorrow, their repentance, their remorse for having followed this particular path. Okay? Mithlul Juwayni wa Ghazali. So these are two people that we need to know. Al-Juwayni, he's in 419 Hijrah. Okay? So he's early in Islam, the first 400 years of Islam. This is when Imam al-Juwayni. Now, he was better known as Imam al-Haramain. Okay? So for the people who, because anybody watching this class should know who Imam al-Juwayni is. He's Imam al-Haramain. Okay? Al-Haramain. Okay, now why was he called the Imam al-Haramain? He went to Mecca and Medina studying to be a talib al-ilm. He spent about 4 years there studying. Normal, right? Nowadays people go there, approximately 4 years, they stay there. Then he came back home. But since it was such a hard journey back in those days and difficult to go and to stay, when he came back, he was so knowledgeable to his people. They said, man, you must have been the Imam of the Haramain, okay? You know so much, and he never was the Imam there. But the people called him, you must be the Imam of the Haramain, and that nickname stuck. He wound up being the Imam of the Shafi'i madhab ala itlaq. He was like the most knowledgeable person in the Shafi'i fiqh and the go-to person during his lifetime. Okay? And he's most famous for his book Al-Waraqat in Usool al-Fiqh, which is a beginner book. This is the book we study in Mauritania for Usool al-Fiqh, and a lot of people study it as well. Is the first grade book in Usool al-Fiqh. It's still studied today. So he's still famous for that. Okay? Now, as he was the Imam, his student was Imam al-Ghazali. Okay? Now Imam al-Ghazali also, he lived during the lifetime, he was a little bit younger than al-Huwaini, but he took over when Imam al-Haramain died, then al-Ghazali took over his position. Okay? Now Ghazali is very famous. He's more famous to the general people than Imam al-Huwaini is. Okay? Amongst Tulab al-Ilm, Imam al-Haramain is well known because of al-Waraqat. Okay? But Imam al-Ghazali is known to everyone because he promoted tasawwuf. He had some ideas that went outside of Islam even. Okay? So some people, they argue, no, you say that Ghazali did that. We don't say that. And people from ahlus say, yes, at the end of his life, he gave up that stance. No, what's your proof? The proof is the last book that Imam al-Ghazali wrote is called, his book is called Iljam al-Awam an ilm al-Kalam. So, Iljam al-Awam an ilm al-Kalam, what does it mean? It means steering the masses away from the science of rhetoric. So this is what that title means. If that's not a clear enough proof that Imam al-Ghazali left that particular mindset, then I don't know what someone could use as a proof. What some people say, oh, well, he didn't write the book. Well, that's kind of, you know, that argument doesn't last because it's been proven that Imam al-Ghazali wrote the book. As for what Imam al-Haramain, he wrote during his last of his lifetime, he wrote that, I'm going to quote so people can understand what he said, okay? He said, Ya ashabana, O our companions of ours, la tashtaghilu bil kalam, don't busy yourselves with rhetoric. فلو أني عرفت أن الكلام يبلغ لي إلى ما بلغ ما اشتغلت به. He said, because if I would have only known where rhetoric would have taken me, to the extent it would have taken me, I would have never busied myself with it. And then, that's one quote. And then he says that when he was about to die, لَقَدْ خُضْتُ الْبَحْرَ الْخِضَمِ. He says, I've gotten myself involved and I've been talking in an ocean worth of things. Busied myself. وَخَلَّيْتُ أَهْلَ الْإِسْلَامِ. And I have وَعُلُومِهِ. And it's like I've stripped myself from the people of Islam and its sciences. وَدَخَلْتُ فِي مَا نَهَوْنِي عَنْهُ. And I've busied myself and gotten involved with things I've been forbidden from doing. وَالْآنِ. And now, إِن لَمْ يَتَدَارَكْنِي. If my Lord does not engulf me, برحمته, in His mercy, فَوَيْلٌ لِبْنِ جُوَيْنِ. He says, so then woe, or would be a place in Jahannam for Ibn Juwayni. وَهَا أَنَا ذَا. And here I am. أَمُوتُ عَلَى عَقِيدَةِ أُمِّي. He says, and here I am, I'm going to die on the عَقِيدَةِ الْأُمِّي. And he says also, he said, or عَقِيدَةُ أَجَائِزِ النِّسَاءِ. Meaning, when you say Aqidatul Ummi or the Aqidatul Aja'izul Nisa, it means the old ladies, meaning the traditional way. That's how they say it. I'm going to die because old ladies are stubborn. That's what they call old wives' tales and stuff like that. They ain't changing. You can't get the old ladies to do nothing except what they know to be doing. They have their ways. And so that has become a nickname for sticking to the sunnah, meaning the traditional way of doing things. Does that make sense? Okay, so now these two famous imams left rhetoric and came back to the sunnah. And that is part of the lesson today. Now, why am I going through all this and we haven't gotten into all the usool yet? Because the usool, rasikhun fi ilm, our roots have to go down deep. You have to let time for these things to settle and understand what our stance is in ahlus sunnah. We take from the Qur'an and the sunnah, straightforward, and utilizing that and understanding it through the language of the Arabs. That's how we take usool. So what does he say? So فَمِنْهُمْ مَنْ تَابَ مُعْلِنًا وَذَمَّ. And so from amongst those who repented and they broadcast their repentance and de-praised the science of rhetoric. Oh, what a great and how good was their sorrow. Like Imam al-Juwayni or Imam al-Haramain, and like al-Ghazali, Abu Hamid and Muhammad al-Ghazali. وَكُلِّ مَنْ عَادَ إِلَى الْمَعَالِ. And everyone who returned to a high position. So let's memorize. فَمِنْهُمْ مَنْ تَابَ مُعْلِنًا وَذَمَّ.
فمنهم من تاب معلنا ودم.
علم الكلام يا له خير ندم.
علم الكلام يا له خير ندم.
فمنهم من تاب معلنا وذم.
فمنهم من تاب معلنا وذم.
علم الكلام يا له خير ندم.
علم الكلام يا له خير ندم.
فمنهم من تاب معلنا وذم.
فمنهم من تاب معلنا وذم.
علم الكلام يا له خير ندم.
علم الكلام يا له خير الندم.
مثل الجويني وكالغزالي.
مثل الجويني وكالغزالي.
جويني.
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 مثل الجويني وكالغزالي.
مثل الجويني وكالغزالي.
مثل الجويني وكالغزالي.
مثل الجويني وكالغزالي.
وكل من عاد إلى المعالي.
وكل من عاد على المعالي.
وكل من عاد إلى المعالي.
وكل من عاد إلى المعالي.
مثل الجويني وكالغزالي.
مثل الجويني وكالغزالي.
وكل من عاد إلى المعالي.
وكل من عاد إلى المعالي.
Okay, وكل.
وكل.
Okay. Alhamdulillah. وصلى الله وسلم على رسول الله. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام.